Hi everyone, welcome to our Crowdcast today. Today is Thursday, and hello to our viewers and our guests. Now, who are we? Most of you know, but those who do not know, I'm Era and Mario. We are your moderators, and today on the stage we have Bjorn Heinze, CEO and the co-founder at Smart Places Protocols, Tim Brickman, co-founder at IAMX, John Shakina, founder and CEO at Mandala, and we do have Kevin Fox with us, executive producer of Mandala. So before we dive into today's topics and talk about all the juicy parts, I am gonna pass the mic to Mario to get our guests a little bit more.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Era. Great to have you all here at the same time in our Crowdcast. Right. So, disclaimer to the audience and everyone. Before we, as UFOstart, we are advisors to IAMX and to Smart Places Protocol. So, just so you know, for now, as our regular listeners know, we always start with a little fun fact about ourselves. So I would encourage all of our guests. So Aaron and I am going to share a fun fact, but no more details. For our guests, I would encourage you to share one fun fact and also how you ended up in the blockchain space in the first place. As a little intro, we'd like to show where all these ways, how do people find into the space. And yes, that being said, I think I need to go first. So my fun fact is very fresh. Since this week, I am part of the board of a little club in Berlin called the Verein der Baden-Württemberger in Berlin. Right, it's a small area where I'm from in Berlin, from Germany, and we have a diaspora in Berlin. So now, this is my fun fact. Please hand over to Björn.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me here. Totally excited about that. Yeah, my name is Björn, born and raised in Berlin. So actually my fun fact relates to that later. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Smart Places. I have a legal background. So I'm a lawyer specialized in data privacy and compliance. I work for some legal firms and also some audit firms in the past, and some years ago I also co-founded a data privacy agency, later also an IT development company, and now for Smart Places I'm in charge of all the operational challenges and of course all the legal and compliance stuff that's coming up. Regarding fun fact, maybe in Berlin it's quite famous, as I just learned, so it's also a very updated fun fact. I just learned that French fries, people love to eat them with ketchup and mayonnaise, and I actually can't stand that. So,
all right.
To the question, how I came to the
for you.
Yeah, you name it. How I came to the blockchain. Actually, from a legal perspective, the blockchain is totally exciting because you, of course, on the one hand, have all this transparency. You have the possibilities for anonymous behavior, and so for an old sector, or let's say a traditional sector like the legal sector, that is totally exciting to find there the right way in between to also translate this technology to the regulations, right? And so some years ago I started to somehow dive in that, and I was totally trapped in the rabbit hole, and since then very excited to learn more about that.
Great, thanks for the intro. Anyone wants to go next? Volunteers first.
I would say Kevin, let's go.
I know John won't, so I'm going to have to. So, Kevin Fox, a little background of me is I've been around a long time doing Hollywood stuff, movies, TV, always doing interactive stuff as well, and pushing the sort of edge and envelope of storytelling. I like to break a lot of rules and do things people wouldn't normally do. And yeah, I started the Producers Guild New Media Council many, many years ago, which was the initiative to bring more gaming and sort of new media into the space. So I'm always on that front edge of using tech to tell stories. Met these guys with this great story that I thought, well, first off, I was looking to create a multi-platform story. I love metaverse ideas and the whole concept of doing things that are very immersive. I like story dwelling, not storytelling. And so we really, I worked for years and years trying to find a project that would work. And I met John and his partners, and they had this amazing concept that actually needed to be told across many platforms. And I got involved. So yeah, here I am. A fun fact about me is that I was digitally replicated many years ago. So you're talking to an avatar right now. And how I got into the blockchain was I've been waiting for the blockchain. I've been sitting on a server somewhere waiting for the blockchain, and boom, now it's here, it's coming. So I can actually I can come out and play now. So yeah.
Wonderful. We're pixel positive here in the UFO community. So welcome. All right, maybe want to continue with John then right away.
Sure, happy to go. So my name is Johnny, and I'll give a little background. I'm one of the co-founders of Mandala, and I'm currently the CEO. And one of our other partners and I met a long time ago at Harvard, and we were studying comparative mythology. And we started to realize that all these different cultures and paths, stories, mythology, cosmologies, were really leading people to themselves, to the truth of who they are. And so being avid D&D players ourselves, even though we were already in university, we started to conceive of what we called the Enlightenment game. And so that was the seed of Mandala a long time ago. But many, many years later, our partner went on to do his PhD at Columbia. And I was dropped out living in the mountains of Colorado, not looking at any media at all whatsoever, and returned to New York City to visit our partner. And he took me to see two films, which I hadn't seen in many, many years. And the first was The Matrix. And that was mind-blowing and inspiring, and actually inspired us to start writing television and film scripts and comic books to complement this Enlightenment game idea. But he also took me to a theater to see this movie called The Blair Witch Project, of which I absolutely had zero idea that it was fictional at all. So I'm one of those people, fun fact, that thought the Blair Witch was real, and now I'm sitting with the executive producer who made it.
And it's still real. It's still real.
Wonderful. Great story. And okay, so last but not least of the guest part, please, Tim, you know the drill, right? You're not the first.
Yes, the fun fact. Yes, the fun fact. I've been here, and I always enjoy being with Era and Mario. I like this Crowdcast because I feel like sitting in my living room. It's so nice, sitting and having just friends around me. It feels so small. I like that. And the fun fact, I've been here already some time, and my fun fact was that last summer I've been in Mallorca and diving, and in Mallorca you rarely have dolphins. It's very, very rare. I was doing with the boat with two friends, and we were just cruising a little bit, and one of our guys said, "Hey, there's a dolphin, look." And we say, yeah, perhaps you drink something. Here can't be dolphins, okay? And then we saw the dolphins. Everybody jumped, very fast. We put up some diving suits, bottle, bam, bam. Everybody jumped in. Who forget his weight belt? It was me. So I was swimming on the surface. The other guy was diving with the dolphins. That's it. That was funny for the others, not this funny for me. That's the fun fact. And how I come into blockchain. I came into blockchain like starting at e-commerce company called handy.de, and there was the devs. It was, I think, 5 years ago, and the devs told me, "Hey, do you have Bitcoin, Tim?" I said, "No, I think it's a scam. It's nothing." And they talked to me every day, and the guy was really a nice, cool dude. And I say, yeah, okay, I buy a Bitcoin. You're treating me 14 days like buy. Okay. So I took my 9,000 euro and bought my first Bitcoin. I saw the next day it was much higher. I thought, okay, I have to look at it. And then it comes the greed of internal human beings. And yes, it made me being a blockchain guy. It was greedy. Yes, it was seeing it goes up, and I don't like to miss the train. So afterwards I learned what is FOMO. I FOMO'd in for sure. I was a completely FOMO guy. And the same thing happened to me meeting Mandala. First, I don't know who gave me a hint. So look there, it's something nice, very colorful. They have dolphins, as characters and animals. It looks really cool because I like this picture.
The dolphin thinks it's deep, right?
It's very deep. Yeah. I think they're better human beings. Okay, I like to be a dolphin later on. And it was, I looked at the web page and I scrolled down and I said, wow, I have to mint one. And if I minted the first NFT, I thought how detailed the work is behind it. You find a video 5 years old, and it was already talking about Mandala. So I was blown away. I scrolled down. I said, wow, AI, which is one of my hobbies, to look AI, read a little bit about it. And I thought they are working with Dr. Ben Goertzel, the guy behind the Robert Sophia with the Singularity Net. I was blown away and tried everything to get in touch with them. And finally, one of our IAMX partners, the NFT maker, big up to Christian and Patrick. They got us in touch. And I think from the first moment on, it was really something. Yeah, it's they live self-sovereign identity. What is the back of IAMX? So this was really inspiring.
Wait, Tim, did you mint a dolphin?
I minted also one dolphin. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Whew.
And the Sky Dancer I minted, which is very. I was very lucky to have that. So yeah, this is how I got in touch in the first talk with. It was for me. We have a biometric terminal we built with IAMX, and what I also liked that John already told me biometrical. Oh, that's not nice. And I said, okay, this guy really knows. What is self-sovereign identity? It doesn't have to start with a biometrical scanner. Just a small detail you can use if you have. Yeah, it's another use case, but they are so self-sovereign identities that even the NFTs are called sovereign.
Great. Thanks, Tim. And welcome. And I guess, Era, next one's on you.
I was thinking I was off the hook, but never with you.
No.
Right, so I'll go. Yeah, my fun fact actually just, sitting in front of my eyes. I'm at this point kind of confident to say, I seriously kind of resurrect plants. There's so many plants that they've been dead for a long time, and they said there's not going to come alive. But I've been collecting plants and then having given them kind of life, and I'm proud of that. It is maybe not so fun fact, but it is my fact for today to share. Thank you.
Okay, great. Then just before I will start into the questions part, I want to remind the audience to ask a question in the question section. We're going to come back to that at the end. I see one is already placed. Please feel free to ask and upvote the questions that you like. Yes, I guess, Era, it's off to your questions.
That's a way to ask and then learn from you guys. So the first question would be, so this Crowdcast is about users are claiming their power back, right? What does that word mean to you in that sense? And I just want to know before we deep dive into topics, so just as a beginning, and I would say, John, let's start with you, if you would not mind.
Oh, maybe I'll let Kevin jump in first, and I'll follow.
So yeah, the question was, and let me make sure I got it: the power coming back to us, or
power coming to users? Yeah. Right. I'm sorry, having the power back to users, but what does word means, and then in what cause are we here in this environment?
For me, and having been in this space a very long time, both through Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, whatever we want to call all these things, every time I think we as humans in this world understand who we are and what we want to do and why we're here, kind of. I think we're then in search of that a lot, but I think we know somehow deep in our DNA, we know. And I feel like that gets taken away a lot from us by the powers that be and the things around us in the world and the way societies have to shape and work together and form. And we keep seeing technology appear and make it look like it has some solution for us that's going to fix all these things. And yet here we are living in this incredibly interoperable, crazy world, right? And we're going to try and replicate that all the time. And we're going to make it better. When in fact, look around, we're making the one we exist in worse already. So I think that's already a big issue for me, which is this concept of, we're gonna rebuild it better this time. This time with the metaverse and blockchain and all that's going on, I actually really believe there's a foundational piece that's being created that will give us our power back. The real question though is, can we stop it from being taken away again? And I think we're at a really important moment right now in creating all the things we're creating that are going to lead to this next virtual world we're going to live in. And because we've seen it happen once or twice already, right? With technology, with the web, with this idea of a democratized system that we can use. And is it going to get taken away again by these, corporations and entities and, nefarious powers or greed, as we brought up earlier before the call? And I really believe blockchain and the people we're meeting and talking to, meeting Smart Places, meeting NFT Maker, meeting Tim, there are a lot of us here as a rebel force trying to give power back. And I think power starts with who you are, your identity. And that's not just who you're seen as from the outside, but who you see yourself as. And that's very, very crucial and important. Let's get people to see themselves in a positive manner. And then the world around us will see us in that same light. And then we will have the power we want to have, not the power that we're allowed to have.
I can understand. So is it having the identity and then the composing this identity, and all right, so that's what the word of meaning and
well, I think you get to create your identity.
Right.
The world I grew up in, my identity was kind of foisted upon me, sort of, right? I was given a license, I was given a birth certificate, I was given a name, I was, you know what I mean? And I think now we have an opportunity to possibly choose those for ourselves. And let's start creating a virtual character, maybe it's just for a game, and create the person you want to become.
Right.
Just what Kevin said, that we get giving the identity, the driving license, all the paperwork. We live in a plastic paper world coming to our identity, and it's controlled and capitalized by big corps. And this you have to, I think the listeners have to really imagine that all that what you use is controlled and capitalized by big corporations. You can open your iPhone with your biometric data, and then we can transfer it to somewhere, to Apple. It will be transferred, but I can't send it to Kevin if I like to. And I think I have more trust in Kevin than in Apple, okay? Because I have more contact with Kevin. So I even can't send my biometric data to my mom. So if you see the era where you and your identity is like a product, that this is controlled and capitalized by Meta, Apple, and Co. And this is coming to an end. And there we are here. And I know it will come to an end. And if you look at W3C, they are working 15 years on a construct how to decentralize the identity. And they come to a conclusion after 15 years. And the companies I was just talked about, it's 5 companies, they don't agree. They say, no, we have to look again. It's not perfect. It's perfect. It's just that they lose their business. And that has to be in our minds.
I love what you just said, Tim. That was so great. You can't share your I didn't even call it DNA, but it's your virtual DNA with your mom. And your mom shared all of her DNA with you. That's insane.
Yeah. And Apple
can take it all, or some other entity can take it all. That's crazy.
Yeah, but whoever is taking it, I'm not just blaming Apple. Yeah, we have a lot of big corps. Their product is making you their product. Yeah, that is,
Let's not pick on Apple.
It's a nice picture you painted. Just a very nice picture. I agree. I will use that, Tim,
yeah,
if
yeah.
that's
And,
okay.
I think if you listen to Björn, yeah, I think he has also brought this more in my mind with his really deep knowledge of privacy, that the change is here, and with the decentralized social media, what they're coming up with, that is really, really interesting for us as just living a small technique to make it happen, this decentralization.
Yeah, I actually totally agree on that. And
I want to say one thing before you go, which is important, and I think it's something that'll maybe set the stage for what you're about to do, and that is, power. When you asked about power, right? Power is not this unique thing that we individually hold. It's a thing we hold collectively together. That's really important. And these corporations want you to think it's, individualized. It's a power, and that's what they're trying to do, is compartmentalize it so that it's a lot easier to stop one thing as opposed to a whole bunch of things. And collectively, that's where the power is, and that's what this is all about, I think. So sorry, Bjorn, because that's what you're talking about, the collective power of.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I would just like to add, because as I said, specialized in data privacy, what I've done for many years in the past was analyzing and also auditing these centralized social media solutions, like which are now in use, and billions of people are using that. And I've analyzed that from a legal perspective and also from a user perspective. And to say it in simple words, it's just terrible, because these companies, they take the data of the users, they sell this data. It's totally transparent. So you as a user never know where your data, where they have gone. So who is the receiver? You also have no possibility to find out or figure out, even not if you're really reading all this documentation, what no normal user would do. So that showed me, and as a result also for smart places, that is a way that is not good. You can't just use a user as a kind of product, free service, but that's it. So from our side, and then we come to the empowering of users from our perspective, we decided very early that we wanted to go another way. We wanted to put the user in the center of all, to have the transparency at all the times on the one hand, and secondly, and I think that's also an important part when it comes to empowering users, to allow users to monetize their data by themselves, because we think it's the ways better option for a user to decide whether they want to monetize the data or not. And so that we have put in the focus from the very beginning. And also, and I think this is also a crucial aspect, to have this compliant aspect in mind, because I think there are many projects that are very visionary, but it's still very important to have a close look on what is possible and what is not possible. And that's why we are also very happy to partner up with IAMX, because they are these experts for exactly these parts when it comes to identity, for example. So experts in that, and a deep experience. On our side, it's the legal aspect that helps. And I think this combination, having a good and a broad vision, helping the people, bringing the power back to the users, building up the trust, but also having the technology and the framework, the legal framework, the compliance framework, to make all that possible. I think if these measures are combined, then I think we have I think a real solution which can work, and which allows us also to become big one day, and to maybe really change something one day.
I like to, for Björn, I think it was just 2 months or 3 months ago. It's again Apple, I'm sorry, but they changed how they can track people. And that was not good for Facebook. They lost a lot of ad power. And imagine that they're talking about us. They didn't ask me if I like to get tracked anyway. And they talk, okay, how can we can't give you so much money because we can't track him anymore. And they didn't ask me. I can say, okay, track me, send me $10 every day, you can track me. They didn't ask me. Okay, so I take it a little bit with a humor, but the laugh, I think, should be very short, because they monetizing, that's what I sometimes even don't know. And also, if my battery is empty from the cell phone, the GPS system is running a week long. Okay, so it's very important for them to know what you're doing. And someone, I'm not illegal, they can, but they have to ask me. At least they have to ask me. And if they make millions with my data, I like to have my share. That's normal, I think.
Exactly. So before we go into very deep in that, because the keyword is right, like the users and giving power back to the user. But I'm a user. Everyone is a user here. So the question would be then here. Next question: the biggest contributing factor for me as a user. What can I do when I try to reclaim my power back? Because we are talking about giving the power back and everything giving, but like the contribution of receiving it because it's mine. So what's your thoughts on that?
And this is where we begin now. I think it's a start. The world of decentralization is starting. We are beginning. I think the user has to watch, has to be open his mind a little bit, being aware of all these facts we have been talked now already about. So I think it's very important just to be open for this, think about this, and then I think the revolution is ongoing, and you will find the products. There's already a social media. There's already something like IAMX can give you your identity also on a government level, and we have another entertainment part, which is multi-blockchain also with the Mandala metaverse. So I think it's even bigger than a metaverse. It's this is something I think where you have to a little bit wait as a user to have the perfect UX. You have to work with it easily. The UX is missing. The tech is there, but now the tech has to be developed so you love it as a user.
Mm-hmm. And I believe the user needs to be slightly educated, right, about what this is and what's happening. And Tim's nailing it. And I think, smart places. The idea that that someone's making money off your data. Let's leave out the part of privacy and who you are, but somebody else is making money off your data. And if that switch can be flipped where you're making the money off your data, I mean, that's a big one right there, right? And that's an educational piece, and it needs to be functional. And here you guys are going to build a thing that makes it functional.
Yeah, I totally
we
agree.
build it together. For us, it's also the journey to go with Smart Places protocol, completely different than other clients or partners we have. On the other side of Mandala, also needing special tech for us, So we are getting guided because we even don't know ourselves what will pop up, where is identity solution needed. So we build our tech very open that we can use it everywhere. And that is the journey we have.
I agree on that, and I think especially regarding this education aspect, I think that is very important. So on the one hand, of course, having like we try to do, offering services as from the provider side, making sure that people can use such a technology and really benefit from that. But on the other hand, also the users that hopefully are more and more aware of these topics and are also willing to maybe accept the change, right? Because I mean, of course, it's comfortable to say I use Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Everybody's on there, and I just stay there. But if they're open-minded and recognize for themselves that it would make sense to maybe change, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow, then I think there are a lot of opportunities.
Well, that's one thing. So we tend to believe, or I do, is that storytelling is the best way to educate. Nobody, there's very few people who like to sit in school. So that was what was so interesting with Mandala and John. There's a way to tell a story that will, I hope, get people aware of these things that we're talking about, but in a very fun, unique way, but in a meaningful way where they take it to heart as deeply as they take these movies they watch and these television shows they watch to heart. So there's a way to make the story.
That's a very interesting.
Yeah, what I like.
It's a very interesting topic, and I think just to is something that I talked to somebody else, like a lawyer, a couple of days ago, and he had also like a similar topic, like a dry topic, like cases and this, and he is in his private time, he works on presenting kind of court cases in a comic format, right, to make this very dry topic somehow a fun part. Also, similarly, it can make everything.
I totally agree. I think that is really the main challenge that we all have, to have such exciting solutions in place that the users, that it's easy for them to change. And just by the way, that is what we also try to do with the NFT landlord sale, which you just mentioned in the very beginning, that we try to make it more easy to understand things. Because in our case, for example, the users, they just can go, as we have our NFT landlord sale on Saturday at 4 p.m. UTC starting that, and users, they can choose a land plot. So they go on a map and they directly see, okay, I can choose something like that. I can buy it. I receive an NFT, and if later on users connecting in the real world on such a land plot, the owners, the pioneers, that's how we call them, are rewarded with tokens. So that's just an example, but that's how we try to make it more handleable and more easy, understandable for users, to say, hey, you can have fun, you can socialize, but you also get something out of that, And
that's actually great. Sorry, please.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I think exactly what I want to dive into. Maybe I can add this kind of question, because we're diving into smart places already, which is quite exciting. I think many came for here. I just caught some of the things that you mentioned also on your website, is like connecting digital and real life, connect to earn, or NFTs going social. Maybe you can give us and the audience mostly like an overview, like how does it work? What do you guys do? How does it work? What's happening on Saturday?
Yes, on Saturday, yes. So maybe one step back. In general, what we do is if users interact or if they connect, because our social ecosystem is based on that, we reward users if they contribute to this kind of interaction. So if somebody's using our iOS or Android apps that we will launch in summer, then they are rewarded with tokens. So that is the core and the base behind that. But what we do now on Saturday is that we divided the world in hexagons, in small hexagons. So every hexagon is a piece of the world. And you, as I said, pioneer, if you just choose one of those land plots, and you just can choose wherever land plot you want in the world, the best case would be you choose a land plot where you assume that later on people will interact on this place. So that might be maybe a mall, that might be the Times Square or wherever. So if you choose this land plot and later on these users interact there, or also monetize their data, then you are rewarded as well. So the focus behind that is to bring this topic, this monetization topic, closer to the users, closer to make it more visible, that whatever they are doing, they finally decide, do they want to participate on that or not? Because I think that, and we in general think that is the future, because otherwise we just keep the central solutions like they are now, these companies making the money, the users are creating the value, and that is not how it should be. So that is one possibility. Of course, there are many others. We just heard it here right now. There are very exciting possibilities and opportunities how things could develop. But this is just one example. So maybe take a look on or join our Discord and see how it works.
Absolutely.
I just had that will be very interesting if John explains the monetarization of the AI concept. Yeah, this is, I think, also we have now Björn, what we all know, the social media, what we like to have decentralized. But John told me, he explained me how you can talk to very intelligent people in their metaverse. And this is something, I don't know, John, was for me really nice to hear. Perhaps other people like to hear as well.
Yeah, sure. Happy to share that, Tim. So we're really excited to hear what Bjorn was talking about with smart places in terms of giving the user the choice to monetize their data, because we have a similar intention and plan to do this in our metaverse and in our game, just as people are owning their assets in a game now, in a quote play to earn game. They should be able to own all their data. And with respect to the AI component, we call what we're building an enlightenment simulator, because it's going to be able to model different socioeconomic live models, potentially with lots of people and users from all around the world. And we had an AI guru and an AI algorithm that we were building into the plan for the game, which would, as people made decisions, then the outcome of certain maps or certain characters would be affected, so that it wasn't always the same way each time that one went through a map. But then we met Dr. Ben Goertzel. We were lucky enough, Kevin and I, and had a very deep conversation with him about his vision for decentralized, beneficent artificial general intelligence. And we realized that we could harness the power of what he was doing in a decentralized way, because we weren't interested in feeding a lot of the user data in any case to a centralized AI, of course. But the piece that Tim was asking about is that we will have what we call NPC AIs, which are in games. For those that don't know, NPCs are non-playing characters. So they're not a character that a user is playing. They're a character that's programmed by the software to play a role in the metaverse or in the narrative. And so we are going to have luminaries and great thinkers, men and women from history and all cultures. And those NPC AIs are going to have read and digested and learned all of the material that's extant for those luminaries. So for instance, Nikola Tesla, whatever exists of his manuscripts will be read by that AI, and the players may meet that character in, say, the South Pole, and that AI will be learning from the users, and the users will be learning from that AI. But because SingularityNet is decentralized, people will be able to earn how they will be able to earn fiduciary, rewards by either sharing that data with a trusted partner that it's going to stay decentralized. So I think what we're looking to do is ultimately harness the power of the knowledge and the wisdom of humanity and mount it in a story on top of the power of the blockchain, which ensures that these bad actors in a centralized way cannot extract value from the body of humanity.
I'll add to that, and that is that this new model, by the way, that we're all talking about, right, where we control who gets our data and what data we share, that's more valuable than the scraping data that's happening now, right? It's very specified data. It's from a user's. We're talking about power here, right? When I get to choose what data I'm sharing, that data is way more valuable than having to aggregate all this data and parse through it. And by the way, every time an AI does that, which is it's an AI, there's not a group of people looking at this data and coming up with results. That AI is going to always be very off with that amount of data that it's looking through, unless it's being given some direction to look. And the way they have it look now is this is a true story. They'll have AI watch YouTube videos all day to see what people are thinking and doing, and then use that that sort of leaning of what it learned to then parse through all the data it's collecting from your mobile phone. So think about how valuable the data will be when we're actually selecting what data we want to share, or what we've interacted with and where we've been. You've already scraped off the top layer of filtering data. So the data that we'll be offering for sale to us, by us, and profitable to us is going to be more valuable to these companies who buy data.
Yes, guys, we will have to. We really want to have some questions of the audience too, because there's some really interesting questions. But before, I would really like to hear you, Björn, kind of walk us through, kind of also give us the vision of how the world. You explained to us the world that we can participate and maybe also earn and interact with on the world map with the hexagons. but what is kind of the vision? Where do you see this in, I don't know, in 3 years, in 5 years, maybe in 20 years, and how can we engage? How can I, as a person, interact, engage, and benefit from it? That'd be great.
Yes,
I think we're seeing here the two new.
Sorry. Yeah. What you asked regarding first of all, maybe the vision behind that, creating a new era of socializing, right? So that is the main the real vision behind that. So of course, the technologies that are components that are important to finally enable that. One component is the NFT land plot sale, as mentioned. That somehow kickstarts our system, but the real vision behind it and coming up with the app when we have launched it, that allows several new aspects. On the one hand, yes, monetization, but in general, it connects people. That is what is important for us, bringing people together. On the one hand, yes, online, like we know it, but on the other hand, also in real life. So allowing people, enable people to get in touch with others who are directly around them, maybe, right? Because right now, in times like we have it now, we have a high standard of technology, but it's nearly impossible in daily life to get in touch with other people around you, for example, right? That might be in a park, that might be at a summit or somewhere, if you're searching for a skill level of experts or whatever. So there are so many daily life opportunities that people miss, and that don't have to be that way. So what we see is that in some days, on the one hand, we think that we can bring people more together than it's today the case, because right now there's happening a lot of online. That is okay on the one hand, but it would be better if people, if they are outside and if they really meet with others, that would be important and nice. And secondly, as said, putting the user really in the center of all that. So enable them to decide about their data, about what they are doing, and also let them participate. Because that is finally, I don't want to talk now about DAOs and things like that. Of course, that's also part of our goal, but these are then, of course, components. But important finally is that the users, that they really believe and trust that it's not all about money,
Yes, cool. So basically, when I checked it out, I was looking at the land plots at hexagons, in my hometown and also where I'm living right now. So ideally, or the most, if I understand correctly, like the most power it unfolds if the digital and the physical space are somehow, if I engage in those places that I am physically also, because then I can see and interact with other people that, and have much more information. If you cross, the street, I don't know anything about you, I will probably not interact with you. But if I cross the digital street on smart places, so to speak, then I may have some way more information, and then we can, continue maybe also in real life. Is that somehow accurate, or how should I'm just trying to figure out which plot I should buy, okay?
Yeah, it's no, but it's great. So it would be good if you have some abilities for being ambassador or something, would be perfect, because it was a great summary for that. And yes, it's totally correct. And regarding the land plots, yes, you have this combination of these aspects. So people meeting in real life on the one hand, but also the land plots which you buy virtually using just your desktop and our website. And then yes, you should choose and pick this land plot where you expect that people will interact with each other, right? And of course, it can change. Maybe it's a place where a festival happens on one day, but maybe another day not. So that are the discussions we have on our Discord a lot. So people think about what is the best place.
I have a question for Björn also, just from listening. If I buy a land plot and I'm like Mario said, okay, I am the one who can drive people to this plot to be there, because I make a party, I make an exhibition, I make whatever, I attract people that come to this plot. So that is like also building a decentralized business, right? So I can have my business getting people there, they interact, and I'm earning money. Is it possible?
That's, by the way, very smart, yeah, to say you buy a land plot and then you take care of having people there in real life, or maybe to connect with the locals, so with the business in real life, retailers, whatever. That is, I see Tim already thinking a lot about that. So that would be a very smart.
Your plot is in a nice museum, to go a little bit away from the money. You find the right people, if they are, you go to a street art gallery, where what more is my part of art. And I would meet the people there and can directly, take the people around this gallery inside, So it's also an educational way,
Yes.
what also John said before. So, and everything is decentralized. There's nobody putting it in our brains. I like to meet a lot of people who are dead and where I think they are really, really a step ahead of everybody. I like to meet Gandhi, or I like to meet all these people. That will be nice, to have
That would be very interesting, right? If we can really recreate those, right? It will be sometimes also not
and
what
we need to, they are the
expect.
right people. If John said, hey, this is Nikola Tesla, he has all the knowledge of Nikola Tesla. I need to have a little bit of a proof. Perhaps it's just John's grandma telling me something, Well, I don't think so, but this is what we all have. If we decentralize, we have to think a little bit more. There's nobody who guides us. So it's a little bit also train your brain, back to Era, train it in this direction. Look what's decentralized. If you key in the wrong number when you make a transaction in a decentralized world, then your money is wrong. It's gone. Okay. So it's a little bit, you have to concentrate on yourself, on being a good human being and giving it to others. I think that is what Smart Places and Mandala puts together, and IAMX is just a small technology basis for that. So this reunites all these three companies with the big dream of making things a little bit better.
Thanks for the nice summary. I have to ask all the guests, because we have another 45 minutes. Do you have a couple more minutes for 1-2 questions from the audience, since we didn't do that at all yet? Sorry for taking more time, but maybe Era, if you want to go and throw some questions from the audience at our panel.
Right. So one of the questions that we received was, can you please elaborate on the advertising revenues that can be generated with land NFTs? And can you also please specify other utilities that will come made available to Smart Places land NFT holders? Any scope for token airdrop to NFT holders?
Yes, great question. I mean, several questions. Maybe starting regarding the utilities, because from a just not long-term perspective, but we will offer for, as in the next month then, or maybe also weeks, that the buyers of the land plots or the pioneers can swap their land plots. So it's not that you choose a plot and you always have to stick with this, but you can change that. So, as mentioned, if circumstances change and you consider that the one smart place today is not a smart place tomorrow, as I mentioned, the festival, for example, then you just swap and change that. That is one aspect. Except of that, regarding the advertisement, we are very happy and proud. We just announced it today to partner up with Advanced Store. It's a great partner. Not only in Germany but worldwide, offering mobile advertisement. So what that allows us to include brands like up to 45,000 to include this in our ecosystem. So also the land plot owners, the pioneers, will benefit from that because they can implement these affiliate links on their land plots. So that means for users, also beneficial for the land plot owners. They can taking discounts, for example, and special offers, so which you usually don't have. So we have a bundle of benefits that are coming up, and of course, really exciting. This whole ecosystem becomes when we launched our app in the summer.
Thank you. Definitely interesting. I'm just scanning through the questions. Right. So the second question would be actually, I think, connected with that, but like an expansion of it. Is there a chance that we can use IAMX identities participate in ICOs, IDOs, and just any blockchain stuff that has to do with KYC?
Yes. Answered. Yes, we can KYC, KYB, AML. That is very important for us, for sure. That is one of the core tech we develop in, because it's directly you have your decentralized identifier. Let's say it easy in your wallet, but we don't. The usually question is, do you store data on the blockchain? No, we don't store data on the blockchain. Your personal, we don't do that. It's the KYC also it's always for the ICO, IDOs for sure. But more interesting is, what if you cash out crypto, if you collect everything and we have a good life in Mandala, good life in the smart places, but finally you have to cash out. I think then is the latest point for KYC, because then you flip from crypto into fiat. And I think this will be the regulation soon. It's just, I guess, that because the easiest way for all governments to cash us, to tax us what we do. And it's also a better way in the gaming industry. First, you can enter the game and you can play, and it's not too, you can try it a little bit. And if you cash out, then there will be a KYC, I think. And if you look into the Mandala world, I think you need another 45 minutes, how great this game is with, you have to really be a strategic thinker. It's like more a strategic metaverse in my eyes. So how I already play the game in my head, and I don't know even everything, but this is also something, if you collect something there, and I can't talk too much what Mandala is presenting in the future, but there will also be like a value perhaps you have to get into fiat. And this is very interesting how the regulation in the future will be. So we are living in our happy echo chamber perhaps, and the government are still thinking we do something what will affect them in a really powerful way. So
I'll add that IAMX for me and won us over because you put the power of KYC back into our hands. Right now it feels the reverse, right? It's I have to do this thing to do a thing. Well, no, wait, when do I want you to know that information? And that's what I'm loving about what you just said, Tim, and what, like I said, you really won us over with that, which is that no, it's back in my control. It's not KYC anymore. It's the reverse. It's like KYO, like know your overlord or something. It's like when I'm in control now, right? Yeah.
Cool. That is it.
All right, guys. I guess we will, in order to respect a little bit the time, I think we're going to wrap it up. I think, we got a good idea of, at least I got a good idea or feeling of, we're at the brink of, yet another change coming back from, power to big centralized corporations, how there's actually a way to, to decentralize and take ownership of identity again. My identity as it is now, my various other identities that I'll have in all these different places for different causes. That sounds all very exciting and refreshingly empowering, right? Talking about everything that's happening. So I guess a good wrap up would be to say, look, there's a lot coming up with the projects that you heard about, the Mandala project, and we'll share all of the links and everything in the email afterwards to check it out, to go straight there. I have heard rumors that there is a new Mandala kind of a new wave coming. Is that to be confirmed? And is there anything to say about it?
John, you want to take that, or you want me to go?
Yeah, we're going to have a second season of these sovereign NFTs, and just to highlight that word sovereignty and sovereign, and this really tipping our hat to IAMX and what they're doing to provide, the identity to the user, and what Smart Places is doing to extend that into the real world. And we're specializing in bringing people into the imaginal realm. so that they can envision the hero that they can be in their own life. And that starts with picking up a sovereign NFT and getting into the metaverse.
Fantastic. So check it out. The links are here in the chat, but I'll also send it around afterwards. IAMX as the enabler for a decentralized kind of a self-sovereign identity is clear. If you have anything, if you have a need for these types of services for your personal idea, I guess Tim will be happy to if you get in touch. And last but not least, of course, we are about, and I'm very excited about this one, is on Saturday, we will have the land plots open up from Smart Places protocol. Links will follow. I guess Saturday at 4 p.m. UTC. So the countdown is running on the website. I tried to secure our little spots, my spots, and yeah, excited to see what's happening. Okay, that being said, don't forget to follow all of us, including UFOstart, and any famous last words of anyone?
Thanks for inviting us in this nice living room again.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. Really amazing. Thanks.
And you as a gamer, Mario, you have to talk more with John and Kevin, because you will get into the game. I can tell you.
I got that we need to talk about comics. Maybe you mentioned comics. This is my turf for sure.
Oh, well, then we do need to be. Yeah, we should talk.
Great. All right, guys.
So much for
Thank
everyone.
you.
That has been great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Nice evening.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.